Hi, welcome back to PMC Knives and Tools. I wanted to knock this review out on the Gerber Zilch that I picked up the other week. I did a short about it on the day that I got it, and I've been carrying it and using it almost exclusively since, with the exception of my Leatherman arc arriving the other day and becoming my kind of main squeeze since then. So, but I did use it extensively up until the arc arrived this week, so it's given me a chance to really get my thoughts together on it. So the Zilch is one of the Gerber Chinese made models. It's designed as a kind of EDC knife, not a specialist. It's not specifically outdoorsy, it's not specifically survivally or a multi-tool or anything. It's just a pocket knife, liner lock, pretty basic modern pocket knife as we've come to know them these days. It's got bronze washers, a liner lock that goes exactly halfway across and is completely solid in the hand, one way only pocket clip, which is tip up right hand side carry, ambidextrous thumb stud. It does also have a nail nick. It will flick all the way open like that with a little push lanyard hole, which I don't use. And the scales are made of plastic, fiberglass reinforced nylon, actually, to be exact. It does have metal liners inside the scales as well. This one is the Coyote Desert Tan with the black polished blade, and the blade material is 7CR17 steel. I picked this up from Go Outdoors, which is a huge conglomerate chain of outdoorsy shops in the UK. They also own lots of other brands that sell similar things, and I'm a member of their shop, I guess. So you get a discount. The members' discounts can be quite significant on some items. So on this, it was £23 I paid, and I think as a non-member it would have been more like £30. So quite a substantial discount. It's a full flat grind with a drop point tip, V-edge. Really nice and light, lovely ergonomics in the hand, no issues at all with hot spots. You get your usual hot spots sort of here to some extent on the meat of the flesh of your palm, but it's pretty minimal. I've cut up a lot of stuff with this. I made a couple of meals with it, cut up lots and lots of recycling because we have quite strict recycling regulations in our county, so everything has to be sorted and organised. So I've done a lot of that, and it's held up really well. I've touched it up a couple of times very basically on my, what's it called, the Work Sharp guided field sharpener, just on the ceramic rod and the leather strop, but it comes back to shaving sharp, no problem at all. 7CR17 is a really good basic steel. It's not going to hold its edge for super long, but it's very, very easy to get back to a really slicey edge, and the geometry here is good because it's a nice thin blade, so there's no binding up. It's not thick behind the edge. It's not going to bind up in materials, whether you're cutting food or cardboard and stuff like that. And most people use their EDC knife for packages and things. You're not going to do a lot of cooking with it and camping with it. It's not that sort of knife, but you can if you like. Some people own one pocket knife only, and they'll do everything with it, and that's absolutely fine. Most people, I think, who buy a pocket knife, that is their one pocket knife, and if you want to have just a pocket knife for general use, no reason why you couldn't have this one. It's a good shout. It reminds me of several other bigger brands. Well, Gerber's a huge brand, but more expensive knives in terms of the feel, the plasticky handle and the light overall weight, but it's very good value. You're not paying Benchmade bug out money here. It's not the same steel as a Benchmade bug out. You're not getting the same thing, but it's that sort of weight and that sort of design of use. That light disappears in the pocket, thin, very slicey, flat grind. Yeah, really good value. I'm quite pleased with that. I didn't know much about it. In fact, I didn't know anything about it when I bought it, but I was in Go Outdoors. I was having a look. I wasn't really planning on buying a knife. I was in there to get some other bits and bobs. And when I was at the knife section, I had a sort of quick browse, didn't see much that caught my eye, and was about to walk away when I saw this, and I thought, oh, that's cool. And I went ahead and bought it. Gerber release an awful lot of these. They're Chinese ones which are made by Fiskars for them, and sometimes they can vary wildly in quality. But I have to say this one is a hit. Very good value, very good ergonomics, very slicey, well put together, attractive aesthetically. You know, as a kind of a knife nerd to some extent. I think it looks cool. It's a very simplistic, aesthetically pleasing, comfortable in the hand, nice and sharp, does a bit of everything. Yeah, really strongly recommend this one as a budget bargain. If you're putting it up against things like, you know, a Victorinox Swiss Army knife is going to be a similar price. You know, a Spartan or a oh god, what's the other one that's quite cheap? Can't remember. Doesn't matter. A Spartan's about £20. This is £23 with the Go Outdoors member price. You know, you're not getting as many tools as you get in the Spartan, but you're getting, if you want just a dedicated pocket knife and you're not fussed about anything else, this is a really good shout. It compares very favourably. We'll do a quick size comparison just before I finish off. Here's the Zero Tolerance 0235. Here's these are just ones I had lying about, to be honest. I didn't put much planning into this. The Milwaukee Hardline D2 Flipper. Really like that knife. The Benchmade 940 Osborne. Put it up the top there so it's still in the shot. It's actually, size-wise, it's just a bit smaller than the Benchmade. A bit bigger than all the other ones here. So yeah, it's a really good, obviously it's a hell of a lot cheaper than these two. These two are, you know, premium priced. It's a bit cheaper than this one, but this one is a lot more kind of heavy duty. It's a thick blade stock. It's a harder steel. This is a very, very well done steel. This is a great example of D2. I've mentioned this one on the channel quite a few times. It was thick behind the edge, so it took a lot of regrinding to get it down to this convex that I've done, which I really enjoy. But it's a super well built bomb-proof knife. This is about 30-ish pounds, maybe a bit more than 30. I think the full price on this was around 30. So in terms of comparison, this is a very heavy knife for its size. This is a very light knife for its size, but they're both a very similar price. Both made by big brands, but both aimed at a completely different market. This one's aimed at sort of work use. It's a tradesman's tool brand, and it's designed and built hard. This one's aimed at kind of light gentleman's pocket carry for light duty use. So there's two sort of similar prices but extremely different ends of the spectrum of pocket use intent. So yeah, the Gerber Zilch, if you get a chance to pick one up, if you just want a pocket knife, no reason why it couldn't be this one. If you already have a pocket knife collection and you have several liner locking knives, or thumb stud opening knives, etc., it's not going to reinvent the wheel. But if you're in the market for a very light, very slicey, very well put together, very well priced knife, absolutely recommend it. It's the PMC thumbs up. Take care guys, stay safe, stay sharp.